Alright, now we're going to put the pin holder station back together. Got everything set up. Got my extra parts. Even got a little bit of grease for the drive. Alright, so you got to put it back together basically in reverse, makes it the easiest. So we're going to start out with the button. Go ahead and take your spring, drop it right down in the hole. Apologize, I'm not sure if the lighting is as good as it could be. I know it ends up being better whenever I download it or upload it. Drop your spring in, just like so. Take your button, make sure you put it in the right way, and there's a catch right here. Wow, I'll get you some white underneath here. Remember that little that catch right there needs to go from the back side. If you look at the back side of the holder, it needs to go to the right side of your screen. And I'm just going to drop it right in and press it. Now it won't come out unless I use the small spring again with the straight ends to help me to extract it. All right. Let's go ahead and get our new GSX switch back in. All right, you got a little catch right there. That works right alongside. Let me get this out so you can see that little switch right there. The switch is going to be right in that little catch, and that's what actuates it. So you want to make sure that that little valley is facing up and out, and your clip spot, if I can put it there, that clip spot is going to be on the inside, the actual pin holding side of the pin holder. Alright, I'm just going to drop it in. It's back over here. Alright, so it's dropped in. Now we're going to take our straight spring, alright, set it over top of it, and I want to put, right now there is you can see there is a lower spring and an upper, or a lower leg and an upper leg as I rotate it around. This side here is actually setting lower. This side is going to be pushed to the right and locked under, and this side is going to push to the left and locked under, so they're going to make a crisscross like that. Alright, so, and it's got, right on the top of the switch there is where it's got to set in on the right side. It's easier to just put the right side in first, get all the way under that catch, and bring your left side over. There you go. And what that does, that holds that switch, so if the switch, if it goes up, it goes back to the center, and if it goes down, it goes back to the center. That's that two-part switch. It actually does two jobs. It tells the pin holder that there is no pin in there, and it also works with the detection plate on the bottom to tell it that there is a pin under the detector when the table comes down. Let's go ahead and flip this puppy over, and we're going to go ahead and put our the switch finger back into place. Got to get your spring. There is a hole right here in the center of this shaft. Not sure if you can see it very well, but I'm going to go, there's a little bend on that clip. It's going to hook right into the hole. Put your spring over the shaft part here. There you go, just like so. Alright, then there is also another small hole right where I'm pointing with the screwdriver, right there. You're going to want to clip that spring into it, same spring. So I'm going to clip the spring first. I can get it. Come on. It's going to kind of rest right in that hole. Now I'm going to tip the right side from where you're looking at on your screen. The right side, I'm tipping it down, and I'm going to drop it into the slot. Watch right here in this area. You got to get your finger in the center of this trough, like that, like so. All right. And now I'm going to take my screwdriver, the same tab that was holding it in. I'm going to put my screwdriver in there, and I'm turning the screwdriver what would be clockwise, just enough to drop the shaft back down in. And watch your spring tries to get caught on the side here and make it difficult for you to get your switch finger in. So if it's giving you problems, it's probably this spring right here tilted to one side. Like that. Sorry if my hands are in the way. Alright, so now that is all back into place. Still kind of sticking only because everything's not fully put together. The actual pin grippers, in my opinion, work with the drive gear to help everything. So it looks like it's stuck now, but it'll start working when we get it all back together. Flip it on the other side. Oops, sorry. Since I got that in, up this side. Put your little clip. It's easiest to put up this way. Don't break it. Don't forget that. Alright. Now we need to work on getting our drive gear in. It's right here. Now, I'll usually only lube on this whole housing. I usually only lube the four flat spots on your drive gear. It doesn't take much. Sometimes too much lube can draw dust and gum it up anyway. Alright? Then you just set it down into the housing. You're going to set it kind of high, and then it slides down, and it's got 4 retainers on the actual housing itself that hold it. So now if I just lift this straight up, they're holding it, but if I slide it back and lift up, it comes out. Alright? There we go. I'm going to go ahead and take the solenoid and the plunger. I got my spare O-rings right here. If you get some solenoids end up binding up too, you got an O-ring here that wears out over time on the end of this. You can extract that. Pretty simple to get off. So you can see now it's got that gap there. Got my spare O-rings. I'm going to go ahead and put one on. Slide it right down in. Got a lot more bumper and cushion there. Okay. Now your plunger is just going to set right into that drive gear. Close up so you can see this. There's a little channel right in here. Sets just in like that. So I'm going to set that in. Get your spring. Load it on top of that plunger. And your solenoid, you need to put it back in. There is a right way to put it in. Make sure your wires are to what would be the right side of the image right now, and they're at the top of this solenoid block. Watch you don't pinch them as you're putting it in. Put a little bit of downward force. Center up your plunger. Locked in. Take your wires, put it in the side clips there to hold it. Like so. Take your switch. You have to put the button needs to be facing in towards the GSX switch, and it kind of sets in a perfect spot right here. It fits the switch exactly in that area. Remember to put your clip back. Your clip the long spot, the long side. Make sure I'm out of the so you can see that the long side goes on the bottom underneath. It perfectly holds that switch right there. All right, and your wires, they're all going to tuck in this little hole. Sorry. Got to make sure your terminal sticks out, and as long as you do your holder now, you can train it. You get these wires trained, then that way it'll be whenever you go to put it in the machine itself, it's already going to just know right where they need to lay to be out of the way. So normally when I fix a holder to put on the shelf, I'll run my wires the proper way, so I'm satisfied with it, and just let it set so it gets them trained that that's the way they're going to stay whenever I do install it into the pin setter. Now we got our grippers. One tip about the grippers I can give you, if you're taking one of these apart and putting it back together and you haven't got time, you get called away and you don't want to lose your parts, don't just take these and just shove them in the wrong side. Okay? I did that one time to shove it in the wrong side just so I wouldn't lose it. Whenever I came back to take it back apart, it was quite an ordeal to get a screwdriver all the way up in the hole to depress the 2 tabs on the side, the 2 tabs on the side of this gripper. It was not easy, and I didn't want to break it or lose my part. So if you ever put it back together just in a hurry just to go back up front and do something, don't just shove it in the wrong way because it will get almost locked in there. Alright? So your gripper's universal. either side. Go right in. Slide it in the rest of the way. And they're sitting there. Get the grippers in. Okay, flip it over. Now you got your small gear wheels. There is a notch. Hopefully you can see it here. There's a notch on these gears. It is right there. That notch lines up with a little pin or a slot on the side of the grippers. And you want to make sure that all the teeth are inside to where the work's going on. You wouldn't put, if this is going on the right side of this image, you wouldn't put the teeth on the outside. There's no work going to happen over there. You got to put them on the inside, like so. And it just slides right down and over. Make sure that the tooth of that gear is on top of the big drive gear. The little wheel, the last tooth that it has goes on top of that drive gear. Same thing with the wheel here. Like I was saying, don't put the teeth to the outside. Make sure your teeth are on the inside. Snaps right in. There it is. So before, remember this is the actual arm here. The switch finger was not coming back up. It was getting stuck, and I told you it would work better together when the grippers go in, and that's how it works. Alright. There's your GSX pin holder.